In the shadow of desolation, there is a nation whose people teeter on the edge of law and lead. Should one desire a fortune out here, they'd best adopt the ambition of this land's heroes, whose wills are steel and hearts are fire.
We don't want to hurt any of you. We'd rather this go smoothly.
And I tried, and I realize now the irony of being a venomous snake.
I am not a gambling man. I'm just trying to do the best that I can.
I told you, I'm a thief. I might be petty, but I ain't no snitch.
So if you've got the grit for it, come ride with the Dugan Gang on the Heist of the Ebony Spear. Now for today, it's time for another story. One of our newest stories today is going to be coming from Pathfinder and my group of players here. I'm Smiter Rasco. I'm usually a player on other Pathfinder adventures, but today I'm actually going to go ahead and be your game master for today. Really what that means is that I'm just going to go ahead and put out the toy box and I'm going to let the rest of the players fill out the rest of the story. For my players today, we're going to be starting with Will. Introduce yourself and introduce your character.
Hey guys, this is Will, and I'm going to be playing the role of Bass Coltrane.
Thank you. Along with him is my older brother.
Hey everybody, it's Jingles Rasco. My character today is Samson Holiday.
And along with us, two very special guests, the first of which, our good friend Katherine.
Howdy folks, I'm Katherine. Today I'll be playing Doc.
Thank you, Katherine. And then finally, our youngest player, Bino.
Hi, howdy, hello. I am Bino, and today I will be playing Ashanka, otherwise known as Furfoot.
Excellent. Now that we've all gathered here today, we're going to go ahead and just sort of invite this environment of storytelling and having fun. I hope you guys listening will continue to enjoy it. Thank you very much. Now, we're going to get into it. Oh, those hot summer days. The kind of heat that, when dust kicks up under the hooves of your horse, seems to only bounce back the sun's unyielding hatred for your own skin. From even beneath you, from even underneath the shade of your own hat. But it's these kinds of environments that breed a number of people. There are the survivors, there are the conquerors, and then there are those that fight back. But today, our story is about survivors. Specifically, the survivors of the Dugan Gang. Or, if you're somewhat informal, the Dugan Misfits. Now, the Dugan Gang had been wandering, stealing, living, and trying their best not to be the worst nuisances for their entire community, to differing levels of success. The Dugan Gang made up of a great number of people that have, for one point or another in their life, found themselves at the end of their rope and unable to find any sort of support out in this harsh world. But the Dugan Gang found each other, and in finding each other, formed a family. Even with family, luck can run out. And when that luck does run out, you find that law and bounty hunters tend to stay on your heels much closer than you would like. Led by the titular Dugan, this poor band of misfits have been having a less than fortunate run-in with the law. Town here, city there. Deciding to stay low, the Dugan Gang finds a almost pristine patch of green out just a little bit farther west. Over on this patch of green is a prime outlook out into a valley surrounded by tall trees, thick grass, and the steady fall of pristine white stone. Dugan Gang, y'all have been traveling off and on throughout this week. And now that last night, Dugan decided this will be our new camping spot, you're doing your best to get comfortable. You finally set up your own personal tents. You're all surrounded in a tight-knit group around each other for protection and surveillance. And unfortunately, you've grown to like each other. So proximity in close quarters has become more and more normal and comfortable for all of you. It's about 8 o'clock in the morning. It was a cool night, and the heavy dew is still there on those gorgeous meadows. And for some of you, this may be an annoyance. On top of your tent, sometimes on the grass right outside of your tent. But as energy is beginning to move around the camp and people are beginning to go about their business and their chores for the camp, one by one, you all wake up and begin to collect yourselves. Some of you can even smell sausage and bacon and eggs in a massive pan being cooked up by your gang's cook, Maribel. Or, for those of you that are a bit more fancy, Maribel. She has a very warm and maternal instinct towards most of you, but she also has a tendency to lose her patience very quickly if you insist on interrupting her process for meals. Now, the gang leader Dugan, as he continues to formulate the next steps for this gang, postures himself at the edge of the cliff just right inside your guys' camp overlooking the valley. As everybody's waking up, your other compatriots, Carla, Spritz, Zeke, Annie, are all beginning to wander around, chop firewood, thinking about what chores need to get done for the camp. And I would ask, in this beautiful morning, where you could hear the birds singing, and you could see that brilliant cerulean providing a background to those gorgeous ebony clouds over in the sky, I want to ask what you guys are going to do this morning.
First things first, I want to establish how much money was Samson paid from the previous gig that they did.
Okay.
Previous job.
The last job that you had didn't pay out as well as other gigs prior. You guys are actually kind of on a dry streak right now. And it was a stagecoach robbery. Fortunately, nobody got hurt. And it was you, Doc, and Bass. And out of that, each one of you only got 25 gold pieces.
25 gold?
Yeah.
All right, cool. Sam's going to get up. In the mornings, he likes to check on everybody, making sure everybody's fine. He's kind of developed a pattern of checking up on everybody, especially just like over time, the things that have happened and the people that they've lost. And especially since he knows Spritz is still on the mend at the moment, he definitely wants to check on Spritz. But he wants to go and just check on everybody.
Okay. We'll start with Spritz.
Okay.
All right. As you're getting out of your tent, Samson, you're squinting your eyes, you're scratching those handsome stubbles along your chin.
He's very handsome.
And putting that long mane into a ponytail. You can see not far outside of your tent, there's Spritz, little red kobold, about Furfoot's age. You can see his arm is still in a sling, and you can see that there's this morning a fresh bandage on his shoulder from where he sustained a gunshot.
I can imagine who put that on him.
And you see him, he's resting the axe handle that he's using on his leg, bending over, grabbing a new little log, putting it down on a stump, grabbing the axe, and then chopping all with one hand.
Okay.
He's going slow about it, but it's pretty clear that he's being deliberate. And you can see there are a couple of times as he's chopping and he raises the axe, because Spritz is who he is, you recognize him sort of going off into errant thoughts while he's performing his chores as he's raising his axe, and then just his head sort of lists off to the side and watches a bird as he brings it back down.
I go. Sam comes up and he's like, whoa, Spritz, hold on there.
Oh, hey, good morning, Samson.
Hey there, buddy. They really got you out here chopping wood with that bum arm of yours?
No, now, look, you know you can't keep a good kobold down, so I figured I'll do it. You see, Annie was gonna do it, and then I was all like, don't you worry about it, Annie. I got this covered. And he grabs another log, puts it up as he's looking at you, and raises the axe to chop one more time.
Hey, and I'm gonna reach out and try to, like, stop him from chopping again.
Yeah. He looks confused.
Yeah. Whoa, hey, so I have a really, really important job for you, buddy.
Oh, dude. Yeah?
Yeah. You know, Mocha, my horse?
Yeah.
She's been real tender on one of her hooves.
Yeah.
Could you, by any chance, have a look at her hooves and make sure there ain't nothing, like, jammed up there?
He looks at you for a moment and considers it and then says, I don't think Mocha likes me.
What? No, Mocha loves you. You just gotta make sure not to sneak up on her.
And he looks down at his own feet and considers it, and then says, I don't know, Sam. Mocha's a big horse.
Well, yeah, she better be.
Oh, do you want me to just look?
Yeah, just look.
Well, all right. I mean, I don't know. You know, I'm not good at shoeing horses if something's wrong.
Oh, just check and see. We'll get somebody to actually shoe the horse if it needs be.
All right.
Just
all right.
I need some good kobold eyes. Listen, not a lot of people here like us have dark vision. Only we can see the minute details.
Go ahead and give me a diplomacy check.
Or how about a bluff check instead?
Oh, this is a bluff check. Yeah, go ahead and give me a bluff check for this.
I will happily give you a bluff check, sir. Go.
That
21 bluff.
All right, a 21 to bluff. And he got a look at when you tell her, like, hey, look, man, and you're like, you know, you have dark vision, I have dark vision. Yeah. He looks at you and he squints, and then his eyes widen back up, and he goes, "Oh!" And he taps his nose and
I tap my nose and I pointed at him.
All right. I'm gonna go look at it.
All right. As soon as he starts walking away, I just chop like 5 logs really quick, just to, and then pile them up and just put the axe next to it. Like, that's done. He doesn't have to do that now.
Okay, great. While you're doing that, you're trying to save your friend from hurting yourself. Let's go ahead and go on to Furfoot.
Yes.
Furfoot.
Oh, God.
How is your morning going? What are you curious about? Who do you want to go and talk to?
Furfoot has, just woken up. Because, cat, they sleep a lot. They have just woken up.
All right.
And they are immediately smelling food.
Nice.
And they're hungry. Because,
all right,
of course, Furfoot is driven by food. So they go and take a visit to Annie, right? Maribel, sorry. I'm very thank you.
You are going to go and talk to Maribel, and you're specifically to go and ask about breakfast.
Yes.
Doc, it is a cool morning, and most cool mornings, you're a bit stiffer than other heated landscapes. You guys just left a very, very arid desert area. Lots of cactuses, rocks, and sand, and now you're in a much cooler, more humid environment. How is that treating you, Doc? How are you doing when you're waking up?
So Doc's already been up. He rises with the sun. He's already had to put a fresh bandage over there on Spritz, but he's feeling it. He's an old snake. And he knows this humidity is probably gonna push him into a shed, and he ain't got time for that. Now, he knows he smells eggs over there from Maribel, but he got his nose whacked a couple times with a wooden spoon, so he's gonna wait his turn, even though eggs are something that he's got a mighty weakness for.
Right.
But he's been watching Samson and Spritz's little kerfuffle over there, and he knows what Sam's doing. He knows. He's seen it. And he's torn between wanting to chastise Samson for doing that kobold's work for him, because we all gotta pull our weight. Come on, Sam. And also, finally keeping that kobold from re-injuring that dang injury. He is so sick of patching that little fella up. We got limited supplies. Doc he will fix you up, but he is not going to be patient about it. And if he has to waste any more supplies on a simple gunshot wound, he's going to.
Simple gunshot wound.
Simple. Yeah, we've seen worse. Hey, we survived.
We have actually seen worse.
Master Ranger's race, we survived. We've seen worse. And so he's going to be just kind of meandering around. He's going to check on his horse wing, and then he's going to wait for breakfast, even though it's going to kill him. Be patient for those eggs.
As you're going over to check on your horse wing, you could see that Spritz is already there trying to do something to Mocha. All you caught was that Samson just kind of pointed at Mocha, and then Spritz made some sort of goofy gesture between him and Samson. And now Spritz is over there, and it looks like he's kind of annoying the horse as he's like trying to get her to pick up any of her hooves to look at. And the entire time he's all like, no, come on, no, stop, no, leg up.
Doc's gonna come over and kind of raise himself to his full height, which is a pretty impressive height, but he's gonna make sure he ain't gonna spook the horse. And kind of cast a shadow over Spritz and be like, what are you doing, son?
Hey, I don't know what's going on, but you're standing in my light. And he turns around, and he's now looking at your stomach. And then that's when he looks up and he goes, oh, hey, morning, Doc.
Morning, Spritz.
Oh,
you need...
I was just checking on Mocha, because Samson was saying that, well, and he looks around. No offense to anybody here, but I got real good eyes. So I'm just checking to see if Mocha's in good shape.
Doc just kind of lets out a real exasperated, sibilant sigh that sounds like a long hit.
What are you doing this morning, Doc?
Trying to figure out how many of our gosh darn medical supplies I'm going to waste on you. If you get your hide trampled doing whatever it is that you're doing, I ain't patching you up this time, boy.
And when
he's going to slither away. Okay.
As you slither away, you can hear him go, well, I won't, well, I got legs. It's clear he really had nothing else for you. You kind of got him in a checkmate.
Doc's just going to roll his eyes. It's not like he hasn't heard far worse about being dodgy, and he's just going to put a little extra kind of like snaky movement in as he saunters away.
Very nice.
He's not over being a snake.
All right, we're going to go ahead and go back to Furfoot. Furfoot, you said that you were on your way to breakfast.
Yes, I'm on my way to breakfast. I will attempt to help with breakfast, but I also might steal.
I also want to steal.
Get that brekkie in.
Listen, I'm hungry. I smell food. I'm food oriented, so therefore I'm gonna go where the food is. And Furfoot just casually meanders up behind Maribel and is just, good morning, Maribel. How are we doing?
Maribel is a woman closer to 6 foot. She's a little bit on the heavier side, and she proudly wears these long pigtails that come down the front. And she doesn't even look at you. She says, "Nuh-uh, Furfoot, you ain't gonna get at this."
Nah, come on, Mary. You know I ain't like that anymore. And you can if anyone's looking behind Furfoot right now, they have their fingers crossed behind their back.
She's gonna actually turn to you and point this wooden fork that she's been using to flip the egg, to stir up the eggs, flip the bacon. So it's got all of the delicious smells on it. And she's gonna point it right at your face and say, "Don't you think I know what you're talking about? Don't you think I don't already know what you're planning? You've already tried sneaking a few fast ones past me, little one."
nervous glancing, just back and forth. Furfoot is going to slowly lean forward and attempt to lick a little bit of the bacon grease off of the fork.
Give me a sleight of hand check.
Oh!
Sleight
Okay,
of
hold
mouth.
on.
Sleight of mouth.
Sleight of mouth.
Oops, slip of the tongue.
All right. Sleight of hand. Roll it. Normal. I'm just gonna normal roll.
Whoa.
Oh.
24.
It's not really sleight of hand. It's just
Yeah.
lean forward, lick,
Yeah.
back up.
At this
Smug
point,
smile of superiority.
At this point, Furfoot, your sleight of hand is so good that by the time she notices what you're doing, you've basically got the whole, like, spoon in your mouth.
This is a win in my book.
And and when she realizes, she goes, no, and she puts her hand on your forehead and starts pushing to get the spoon out.
Furfoot just starts hissing.
No, stop.
Get your hands off me!
And it's at this point, I'm going to say, Bass, you've been up, I would say probably for a better part of an hour. You've actually trying to stretch out some of your joints now with the deeper humidity that you guys are in. You've actually been trying to enjoy some of the nature and kind of go for a small walk. It's at this point that you're getting on back, figuring that breakfast is going to be ready soon, that you see that dangle Furfoot and Maribel are at it again. What are you going to do, Bass?
Now, Furfoot, you know good and doggone well. You don't need to be messing with Maribel while she's cooking breakfast. Now, you need to go get up off that spoon. Let her wash it now, because you'll lick all over it. And let her finish cooking so you can eat.
Furfoot just gives you a sour look, and then just
Go
spits
on,
the
give her the
spoon out of her
spoon
mouth.
back. Okay, see, it'll be a whole lot better when she gets done and you can eat the whole meal. Let her lick it off the spoon. Try to get a little taste off of it. You know the meal's gonna be better. You ain't ever had a bad meal from Maribel yet.
No.
And Maribel is actually going to now wag the freshly salivated spoon at you Furfoot again and say, and don't you ever forget it. Every time I come around here and you trying to grab a piece of the meal, every single time I'm trying to cook it, heaven help me. Sweet Sarah and Ray, give me strength to not throw this little cat off that damned cliff. And then she turns
Furfoot
around
just hisses
and
again.
she's going to turn around and she's actually just going to toss the spoon into a bag of utensils, turn around and grab another one that's smaller, but at least it's clean. And she's going to go back to tending to the breakfast. The entire time she's all like, it's like, I got all these damn children running around here. No, back when I was growing up, we knew our manners. We knew our manners.
Hey.
And she's going to keep mumbling to herself.
Now, Maribel, I came by here to see if you needed some supplies. I was going to see if there was a town nearby that I could go grab some stuff real quick, try to keep it under the weather while there's not as many people in the town. Do you need anything?
Unfortunately, Maribel is still wound up. And
Lord.
that's sort of the impression that you get from her. As she turns around, she says, oh, supplies. The man says supplies. I need supplies yesterday, mister. Now, yes, we've got the town of Gulch at least an hour away. They're telling me about supplies. We need food, we need medical supplies, and how much money, sir, do we have to spend on all of that?
Well, I'm trying to get that together so I can get the list together things so I can ride into town and try to get them. Woman, that's why I'm asking you what you need.
Asking me what I need without counting up all your money. And she actually goes over to the chest that she had nearby with these utensils, and she pulls out a notebook and she starts writing stuff down. She's writing a grocery list while complaining to you about writing a grocery list.
Okay. I understand you're frustrated, but I just need to know what we need so I can get it. Or try to get it. Or some of it anyway.
She continues to write down, and she rips off the note and she says, "Here, I don't know what you're gonna need when you come on down with some sort of flu or y'all end up getting shot. So you're gonna need to talk to Doc about all that medical supplies. But this is what we're gonna need to last us throughout the week." And she kind of slaps the note into your chest.
Okay, well, I thank you kindly for the list. I'm gonna go see Doc and see what we need as far as medical supplies. Now, Furfoot, you stay away from it, let her finish cooking so we can eat a good meal. Now, all right?
Furfoot just rolls their eyes at you, but just silently nods.
You can roll your eyes all day long as you understand me. All right, well, I'm gonna go see Doc, talk to him, see what kind of medical supplies we need. Y'all be good.
All right.
Be good at it at least.
Or at least try to be good at it.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to go ahead and go back to Samson.
Mm-hmm.
Samson, after you've gotten done just blitzing through that wood,
Yeah.
I'm going to say that, yeah, you guys have passed through Gulch a couple of times.
Mm-hmm.
And it's one of, like, the last few towns you guys might be able to squeeze on through without anybody making a peep about, like, hey, ain't that the Dugan Gang?
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to say, right after you're chopping up the last bit, off to your side, you hear Carla's voice. And she says, "Wasn't Zeke supposed to be working on that?" And when you turn and you see Carla, she is tall and bulky for an elvish woman.
Mm-hmm.
She has a couple of scars on her face, and she usually wears leathers and wool like the rest of you guys. Mm-hmm. But this morning, as chilly as it has been, she's actually leaning on a tree not too far from you, and she's got a pelt wrapped around her from a bear that she's killed not that long ago.
Mm-hmm. Sam will turn, and is she far away?
I would say maybe 15 feet.
I'm going to put the axe down, and I'm going to walk up to her so that, because I don't want anybody to be listening in on this. And I'll say, "Now, Carla, you and I, we're quite capable. We can chop wood. Spritz was shot. Part of me is like, yes, Spritz needs to keep working, which is why I have him doing something. But I don't think it's right to have him chopping wood or anything of this kind of strenuous and exacerbating that wound of his. You know what I'm saying?"
She's going to take a sharp inhale and actually survey the camp as everybody's wandering around. She's going to see Doc slithering away from Spritz in some sort of mood. Mm-hmm. And she's going to say, "Yeah, but you know how Doc gets about people not pulling their weight."
This is very true. But, and I reach out and I pat her on the shoulder and I say, "But you also know how Doc gets when people continue to injure themselves. And more gauze, more medicine, more painkillers, that's more expensive than not getting wood chopped."
All right. I could see where you're coming from.
He puts his thumbs in his belt loops and is all like, "I thought you might."
And then she's actually going to give you a wry smile and she's going to say, "You are always such a self-satisfied bastard, now aren't you?"
Only when I'm right. And I give her a grin.
It's at this point that you can see not that far off. It looks like Maribel and Furfoot are fighting, but fighting like an owner in a cat fight.
He looks over it. He kind of says it a little bit under his breath, but enough for Carla to hear. Mm-hmm. It's just all like, "Am I going to have to go over there and intervene?" And he waits for a little bit, and then he sees Bass go over and the conversation happen and stuff like that, and he's like, "No, I don't need to intervene." I think it solved itself.
All right, the situation is abated. So.
And then Sam is just going to be like, "Carla, you need anything else?"
Carla is actually going to pull the pelt a little bit closer, and she's going to look off in the distance and just go, "I don't need nothing. I don't need nothing at all. Go ahead and give me an insight check."
All right. I believe you mean a sense motive.
Yeah,
check.
give me a sense motive check.
I will sense that motive super hard. I put a little bit into sense motive because I was all like, he's a talker.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see it.
Not great, but...
Okay.
That's
17.
pretty good.
It's not a terrible roll.
You can't exactly ascertain the finer points of her intention,
Right.
but you're starting to get the feeling that she might be reconsidering her commitment to the gang.
Mm-hmm.
Not in a worrisome, treacherous sort of way,
Yeah.
and you can't ascertain what sort of plan she might have in her head,
Right.
but you get the impression that she might have it in her head that when everybody gets up one morning, she won't be there.
Mm-hmm. Sam will make a mental note of that. He won't say anything.
Alrighty.
Is Zeke around at the moment?
Give me a
Thinking
perception check.
He's definitely one of the other people that Sam really wants to make sure that he keeps an eye on. 21.
All right. You take a look around. Zeke's nowhere to be found. And from where you're standing at, you can even look over at his possessions.
Mm-hmm.
And he had, ever since his most recent hardship, where he would usually put out a tarp, put out a tent, protect himself from any sort of rain, protect himself from any sort of animals. He's only been assembling lean-tos for the past month or so.
Mm-hmm.
And you look over at his lean-to, his cot's empty.
Okay. But his stuff is there?
Yeah, the bigger parts of his accessories are still there, like his backpack.
Right.
But you notice that his boots are gone.
Okay. Yeah. So Sam wasn't planning on saying anything. He just wants to make a note that he hasn't done anything drastic
No,
overnight.
yeah,
And
good,
it seems
solid observation.
there seems to be signs of life there.
yeah.
He knows, like, he doesn't want to talk to Zeke because Zeke doesn't seem to be wanted to be talked to.
Yeah, Zeke hasn't exactly been open to talking to too much of anything to anybody
Yeah.
recently.
But part of the thing, ever since Dugan's initial plan to eventually bump Sam up,
Mhm.
Sam has really wanted to make it a point of checking in on everybody that he can. And he knows Zeke doesn't want to be talked to right now.
Yeah.
But he just wanted to just make a mental note. Where is he? Okay, well, he's not here, but his stuff is. So he'll probably be back for them.
Mhm.
So whatever he's doing, he's probably going to be back.
Yeah. I would say at this point, Carla has gone over to one of the fold-out tables that you guys had. She pulls out a book and is starting to read to herself. We're going to go ahead and go back to Doc. I'm going to say, Doc, after that conversation, you're seeing the life of the camp starting to wake up. People are talking, laughing, arguing, as they always do. As you're actually moving through the camp, Doc, would you mind giving me a perception check?
Sure. 23.
Oh, brilliant.
Nice.
Great. Doc, as you're moving through the camp, you pass by the edge of your guys' settlement. Somewhere in the trees to your left, at first you're not quite sure you heard it right until the sound repeats itself a second time. And when it does, you can tell it's the sound of somebody throwing up.
All right. Well, as the one qualified medical professional here, I'm going to go investigate the sound.
As you go through and moving through the brambles and the brush, it's really not that far until you round a tree and you see Annie, one of the few humans in the gang, using one hand to hold her red hair back and the other hand to lean against a tree. She's vomiting. She gets through her retch and pulls out a napkin and wipes her mouth. And when she turns around, you see shock in her face when you're not more than 5 feet away from her. There's a long pause before she goes, "It's probably just the stomach flu."
Doc's going to kind of do the snake equivalent of sitting back on his haunches, and he's going to look her up and down and say, "If I had a copper piece for every time I've heard that, Missy, I wouldn't be needing to run with the gang."
Well, maybe there's one of those times that, that might be something nice to consider, not having to run with the gang. Maybe settle down somewhere, and you see her face go flush again, and she goes, "Oh, sorry," and she turns around and she Ralphs again one more time.
Doc's going to give her moment, kind of square his shoulders up and say, "Listen, what you do is between you and your gods. But if anything needs to be between me and you, you know I'm here."
She wipes her mouth again, and she turns back to you. This time, tears kind of coming down her face, and you can't quite tell if it's because of the vomiting or it's because she's suddenly very emotional and very open with you. And she says, I think you know what exactly we're talking about here. And I'm going to ask Doc, go ahead and give me a heal check. I'm usually used to knowledge medicine, but...
30.
Oh!
Natural 20.
Oh, natural 20, nice.
Doc, she's pregnant.
No.
Oh.
And when she says that, she can sort of recognize the aha moment in your eyes when you've sort of caught her in a lie and you know the truth. She actually comes forward and she grabs you by the shoulders and she says, "You can't tell anyone."
Settle down. You know, one, I've sworn an oath. And two, it's not like I got that big of a flapping mouth on me. I ain't gonna go around spilling your secrets. All I want you to know is that I'm here, whatever path you want to go down. And you know that I might be a snake, but I've been around you humans and humanoids for long enough that, again, we'll take care of it, whatever choice you make. Be easier if you laid eggs, but beggars can't be choosers here.
When you say eggs, she actually kind of starts, looks shocked, almost horrified that you would say that. And then she kind of softens, and then she starts chuckling and then laughing. And she says, "Damn it, Doc, sometimes you don't need to be so honest."
Doc's gonna kind of soften at that. Obviously, he knows that this is a tricky predicament, and he's got his own thoughts and feelings, despite being a abject medical professional. But you know, he'll take the laughter. So he kind of cuffs her on the shoulder, and he's like, "Annie, you'll be all right. You'll be all right, Annie. We got this. And I ain't never gonna stop being honest with you."
And she's actually going to go ahead and hug you, and she's going to say, "Thanks, Doc." And when she separates from you, she says, "It's only been happening recently, but," and she's actually going to place her hand on her stomach and go, "But I want it."
Doc's gonna try and stifle the quick intake because I think he ultimately was more scared of that than performing any other.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
This isn't the environment, but on the other hand, as he's kind of parsing his thoughts, he gets it. He's got this complicated relationship. He's going to kind of send up a quick mental prayer to Serenray and just be like, "You know what? This gang's my responsibility, and I can do what I can do, but make this easy for her." And I don't know if Annie's going to notice that kind of quick moment or whatever. Doc doesn't look shocked or anything. He's just going to take that moment.
And she seems to appreciate this sort of hard-nosed, no-nonsense person that she's known for a while, actually trying their best to be delicate with the situation. She's going to smile at you, and right before the next step in the conversation comes on in, she's actually just going to place her hand on her stomach again and look a little bit worried, and she's going to be all like, "Am I going to get really big?"
Doc's gonna let out a chuckle and be like, "Time's only gonna tell, Missy, but I have a feeling you're in for a great number of surprises."
I would say at this point, I see what you were saying, Will. You were walking around camp in their general direction and calling out to Doc. And that's close enough that Doc and Annie would be able to hear it.
Doc, you're around here somewhere. I'm trying to go through and get a list of things we need and get supplies there. You nearby? Can you hear me?
Doc's gonna look at Annie and just be like, "You know me, I ain't gonna say a word. Now, I am gonna pick up some things in town because I think that's what Bass over there is all in about. I'll go talk to him. You take a moment and freshen up." And he's gonna turn away from Annie and start to walk towards Bass.
Alrighty. She says thank you. It's very clear that she really appreciates all of this that you're trying to do for her. So, Bass, as you're walking around camp, out of the bushes and behind a couple of trees, emerges the giant snake doctor on your guys' team.
You all standing up there all tall. Everything. All right. Thank you for letting me know you're there. Kind of scared me a bit, but, I appreciate you. I was trying to figure out a list to go into town with in order to go and get some supplies, and I figured you needed some things. Was there something you needed to pick up? Because I'm trying to get the money together to go into town and get the things we need.
Riding alone, or we taking a party?
Well, I kind of didn't know if anybody else could break away. I kind of figured I I usually get the supplies when we're in different places, but if you'd like to come with me, I'd enjoy the company.
I think at this point it's probably easier to accompany you into town and get what I need myself than to try and send somebody else with a list. So I'll ride with you.
Fair enough. I appreciate it. Like I say, I'll always enjoy the company rather than ride by myself. Only other thing we need to do is just check with the rest of the crew and see if there's anything else we need before we part ways. I talked to Maribel. I got a list of things, food. So I just figured we just need to make sure there ain't nobody need nothing else before we head out.
I would also say that, traditionally speaking, whenever there's big push or grocery run or even a big heist or anything, historically speaking, the gang usually at least goes and talks to Dugan and lets him know what's going on. And up to this point, it's been kind of hit and miss. The habit that he would usually do is that he would choose people in the camp to say, okay, so-and-so, so-and-so, and so-and-so, you guys all ride together. So that's sort of the last step in all of this for whenever you're like, okay, let's go grocery shopping, but before we go, let's go talk to Dugan.
All right, then, I can make sure to do that. Just trying to get everything together before I approach the man.
In that case, I'm going to say let's go ahead and bounce back to Furfoot.
I was going to say that if nobody had actually checked up on Zeke... Has anyone checked up on Zeke yet?
Not really. You did notice earlier that Samson was actually walking around the camp, and it looked like he was looking for somebody. You're probably sure that it was Zeke, because you saw Samson walking over to Zeke's lean-to and actually looking around inside.
I'm going to go check up on Zeke. That's just what I'm thinking.
Earlier, Samson did a perception check. Didn't see him anywhere. As far as you guys can see, his lean-to is empty. He's not in there. His backpack is still there. His big packs are there. And his saddlebag is there. But his boots and his coat and his hat are gone.
Let me actually...
Yep. So if you want, you can link up with Samson, see what he knows, and go about it that way, or however you want.
Yeah, I was checking my character sheet because I thought that because Furfoot is cat folk, like, don't they have good smell, or is that like a feat or something like that?
I do not think so. I think
no.
different animals have got good smell. I don't think cat folk do.
Garath does.
Garath does. He's
I
got
know
a good
Garath does. Garath has a very good student.
My sleight of tongue would get a good scent going.
Yeah, I only have low light. I'll recoup with Samson. Just
Alrighty, go ahead.
Oddly enough, Furfoot almost always, whenever they're trying to talk to someone, they always approach from behind.
Oops.
So, yeah, wow, okay. Cool, thanks.
Didn't mean to do that.
Yeah.
It's alright.
It's because I'm assistant
Wow.
GM. I can talk as other characters. Apologies.
Oh, wow, okay. Identity theft is not joke, Jingles.
I realize this. I did it so casually.
Oh, no. Yeah. Furfoot, whenever they're trying to talk to someone, almost always ends up approaching them from behind, for better and for worse,
All right.
in a sense.
So let me ask you, when you're approaching Samson, are you intentionally trying to be hidden, or are you just approaching him?
I'm just sort of approaching, but because cat feet, they're not intentionally trying to be loud. If anything, they're sort of trying to be quiet, but not stealthy, in a sense.
Okay, in that case, I will not have you do a stealth check on this, but I will have Samson do a perception check.
Sure thing.
Yeah, I figured that would be happening.
I will proceed. 25, natural 20.
God damn it!
Samson, you are squatted down in front of the lean-to.
Mm-hmm.
You are literally hovering over and looking stuff over for any clues. You can hear Furfoot approaching behind you.
Mm-hmm.
You don't even need to turn around. You know it's them.
I'm not going to say this, but in my mind I was just all like, Furfoot, I know that was you. I don't even have to look.
I've had enough sass for now, please.
Yeah,
I've been sassed out enough.
But I will be like, morning, Furfoot. How can I help you?
Oh, jeez. Didn't expect you to actually hear me. Good morning.
Morning.
Any idea what happened to Zeke? I was going to check up on him. I have no idea where he is right now. And I feel like that's something that we need to know. You know?
10 out of 10 enunciation.
10 out of 10.
It's just the way that they talk. They're not doing it on purpose. It's just the way that they talk.
Oh, yeah.
You can call it a quote-unquote catfolk accent, it is said.
Yes. Samson goes, well, he ain't here right now. I was intending to go check on him as well, but he ain't here, so more than likely he doesn't want to get talked to.
I'm going to say with that knockout perception,
20,
not only did
20.
you realize that Furfoot was behind you, but judging by some of the crumpled grass and some of the turned up dirt, you also noticed that his horse is here too. You guys were remembering that when you guys were coming into this campground, there was, down in the valley, there was a beautiful blue river that's just cutting through some loose rocks down there. And when you guys were coming on through, you definitely noticed that Zeke, even in his antisocial state, remarked how beautiful the river was. And so you know that that's a key feature that at least caught his interest.
Sam will stand up, he'll dust his pants off, put his hat on, and be like, my best guess is that Zeke headed down to the river and had himself one of them big things. I think it would be the right thing to just let him have his thoughts for now. We can catch up with him later. I don't think he's hurt or anything, and his horse is still here.
You think he told Dugan about where he went?
It's a possibility. And Sam kind of like exhales at the the thought of talking to Dugan, as things have been awkward between Sam and Dugan for a few months now.
Yeah.
And Sam, because of how long it's been going on for, Sam is starting to feel like he probably shouldn't even talk to Dugan like at all.
Yeah.
But he knows that he's kind of the number 2 right now.
Yeah.
And so if something needs to be done, he still needs to talk to Dugan about it, but he's not enthused about the idea of doing so. He's all like, oh, there's a possibility. If you want to go ask Dugan, you can, but remember. And he looks down, he gets really serious with Furfoot. And it's all like, I like you, kid. You're a good kid. And I know that you're just trying to look out for a friend. But there are some things that words can't help at the moment. The only thing that can help really is time. I hope you understand that.
And Furfoot is, without trying to properly express it in the face, silently taken aback, but just, wow, you got really serious for a moment. But they don't say any of that, they just silently nod, trying to keep a very neutral, thoughtful expression without trying to say, Jesus Christ, the mood just shifted dramatically. Wow.
Without saying, hey, Jesus Christ, I just sat down.
Who starts a conversation like that? I just got here.
But Sam then just gives like a big old smile and boops Furfoot on the snoot and says, now come on, let's see if we can get ourselves a hearty brick.
Break this! Furfoot is in much better spirits now and immediately trots over back to Maribel. Probably going to bother her again.
All right. Well, I would say at that time, Doc, Bass, all of you guys are sort of congregating around Maribel, and now breakfast is more or less ready. She's handing out servings to everyone. Even Dugan's there. Dugan is an older gentleman, maybe even a couple of years senior to Bass.
Oh, dang. Yeah.
But he's old. But he's also maintained an athleticism and a physique for a guy that you wouldn't expect for his age. As he's been riding hard, he's been living fast, but he's also been loving this life for as long as he has been. And you can see some parts of it of age are catching up to him. His hair on the top of his head is fading a little bit, but it's still salt and pepper up there. He doesn't have his hat on as he's over getting food from Maribel and telling her, "Now that just smells heavenly, Maribel. Thank you kindly." And Maribel says, "Well, you're welcome very kindly, sir." She starts passing around dishes to everybody, and whenever she passes a dish over and everybody comes on over, Dugan says, "Morning, Doc."
Morning, dude.
Bass comes on over, plate gets passed over, Dugan says, "Morning, Bass."
Morning, Dugan. Oh, this smells wonderful, Maribel.
Furfoot comes on over. When you come on over and you get a plate passed over to you, Dugan actually takes off your hat a little bit and ruffles up your hair and he says, "Good morning, kid."
Morning, Dugan. How you doing?
Oh, it is a beautiful morning, as much as it ever could be, now isn't it? And then
It really is.
as he's ruffling Furfoot's hair, plate gets passed over to you, Samson, and Dugan just looks and nods, and then goes back to talking to the rest.
Sam will also nod back in an understanding way, and then just try to find a spot to eat that's not super
Trying to
close
find
to
a hole to sink into.
Just a nice spot. I'm sure he's found a log that he's already claimed dibs to, that he'll sit down and start eating.
Now, as you all are starting to eat your breakfast and get through that, by the way, Maribel, reading the room, likes to separate out her crunchy bacon from her chewy bacon.
Excellent.
And
and Sam just says, "Thank you kindly, Maribel. This is delicious as always."
Maribel actually kind of gives you a pitied look and puts her hand gently on your cheek before you break off.
I give her like a knowing nod and just kind of walk away.
I'm going to say that she actually whispers and tells you, like, he'll turn around.
He nods in like agreement, just a little nod, but in his mind he thinks to himself, "I'm not sure he will."
So while you're all sitting around each other enjoying your breakfast, in between bites, Dugan is going to ask you all as a group, "All right then, family, what's the plan for today?"
You can see Furfoot's tail swishing. They want to talk first, but they're not going to. They're just gonna let everybody else who has more important things to say, probably, speak first. But their tail is swishing as they're just looking around the rest of the group, trying to see who makes any sort of bodily movement indicating they're going to talk first.
Yep. I would say at this point, Spritz actually comes in and joins the group and gets up late. And when Dugan says, "What's the plan for today?" Spritz is going to say, "Well, everybody, I got good news. Mocha is in fine shape." He nods self-satisfied and then snaps his finger and points over at Sam, clicks.
Sam, mouth full of eggs and bacon, a bacon strip hanging out of his mouth, big old cheeks. He just thumbs up really big back towards Spritz.
And Spritz is going to go over and sit next to you, Furfoot.
Oh.
And when he does, he's going to just kind of quietly go, "What'd you get?"
The usual. Just whatever Maribel made. I'm not complaining. Food's food.
I know. Did you get any sausage? You got any sausage?
I got a couple.
You can see you can see he's got 6 sausage links on his plate.
How many would Furfoot have by this point?
Just 2.
You know what I'm about to try to do. Can I?
Spritz is all like, "Hey man, can you spare any more of that sausage?"
Look at your plate and look at mine right now, buddy.
Huh? And he looks down at his plate and he goes, "Oh yeah, you're right. Hey, can you spare any more of that sausage?"
I would like to try to steal one of his sausage from under his nose.
Sleight of hand, please.
God damn it.
All right, against his perception, I'm going to roll the dice.
Please. I have my fingers crossed here, man.
That is a 7, so I'm going to say you get 2 sausage links off the guy.
I've scarfed them into my mouth immediately.
And then he's gonna go, "What the? Hey, Dugan, Furfoot took some of my sausages." And then Dugan's going to laugh and then say, "All right, now do we have any actual important news?"
But Dugan, since you mentioned it, I was talking to Doc, and I was getting money together to get some supplies. I got a list from Maribel, and then Doc's going to go in and get his medical supplies he needed. I was just needing to know if there was anybody else needed anything so we can pool the money together to go into town and get the supplies while it's still early in the day so there's not as many people in town.
Well, we definitely need supplies. Scratches his chin for a moment. And he says, and this is usually the part where he tells you guys okay, so here's our plan of attack. Like, we're gonna send this person, this person, this person, and this is how we're gonna do it. You guys are gonna watch out for each other. 2 of you hang back, make sure everybody's safe. And you're used to his plans being like that. But then he just shrugs and just says, well, who do you think you're gonna need?
I hadn't really thought about it. You usually just tell us who's gonna go when, and we just follow through.
Yeah, well, today's Sunday, ain't it? We can be a little bit relaxed about how we go about our work, I suppose. And he sort of waves his hand very non-committed through the air and says, Bass, why don't you go ahead and take Doc, Furfoot, and he just sort of lazily throws a finger out towards Samson and says, Mr. Holiday as well.
Sam was not looking up from his plate while this whole thing was going on.
Yeah.
So when he hears Mr. Holiday, he's like, what? Like shocked to hear his own name.
Yeah.
His last name, no less. Ooh.
Yeah.
He used his Christian name.
He used his Saren Ray name.
Well, all right. As long as everybody's willing to go, we can go ahead and get saddled up and head on into town as soon as we get done with breakfast.
Furfoot's just kind of thinking to themselves for a moment before they just sort of snap their fingers for a moment and then just shoot their hand up, trying not to interrupt.
All right, kid, what is it?
Anyone seen Zeke this morning?
All of that
I'm
energy,
sorry.
all of that joy from Dugan's face just leave. And then he goes,
Did I say something wrong?
Sam exhales.
What? Did I say something wrong?
Dugan actually walks on over to you, Furfoot, while you're sitting down, and he puts his hand on your shoulder and he says, Wrong? No, not really, kid. But you definitely didn't say something right. As far as I know, last I saw, he was heading on down to the creek. And he's just gonna turn around and actually clean off the rest of his plate and put it into a dirty dishes container and just kind of go back to observing the vista. And then Spritz, sitting next to you, having no clue about the gravity of what the hell is going on, is gonna go, in between bites, go, I don't get it. Furfoot, did you mess up? Did you mess up, Furfoot?
I don't know.
I think
And
you messed
that's
up,
the
Furfoot.
problem. Yeah, I think I definitely messed up. That's the problem.
Yeah, you shouldn't have done that, Furfoot. And he keeps eating.
Furfoot jokingly just looks over to Spritz, elbows him in the shoulder, and rolls their eyes playfully as they scarf down the rest of their food.
Dugan has walked away from the group, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
As soon as Dugan is out of eyesight,
Yeah.
Sam takes his poncho, wipes his face,
Yeah.
and he gives the plates back to Maribel. And he says, well, gang, I guess that means we gotta start getting our stuff together. Everybody, come on now. Get up. Finish up. Let's go.
At this point, Doc hasn't touched his breakfast at all and looks through, trying to make sure nobody's making eye contact with him, and then lifts his entire plate and just in one swallow, horrifying display, consumes his breakfast, which to anyone in the gang kind of know not to look at this point, but he gives everyone a chance to eat first.
I would say you're right, except for Spritz.
Oh, Spritz definitely watches
Like
this.
when you bring your plate and you shovel in the last bits, you bring your plate back down, everybody else is respectfully looking away, but Spritz is staring right at you.
I'm gonna make unbroken eye contact with Spritz and if you want to watch, you better not look away.
Spritz is, like, shocked by that. Give me an intimidation check.
Oh!
Oh, and I think... No, they don't get...
All
17.
right. And that is a 14. He fails. And Spritz is going to look at you wide-eyed and then lean over to Furfoot and go, hey, he wouldn't, like, eat us, would he?
I don't know. Why don't you piss him off and find out?
And at that, Doc just opens his mouth a little. He swallowed his food, but he just opens his mouth a little, just kind of angles his head so the sun catches on, like, one real big fang.
Furfoot just with the smuggest grin leans over to Spritz.
I think you messed up. I think you said something you shouldn't have. I think you messed up.
All right, so you guys are all done eating. I'm assuming that you're all going to grab up your saddlebags, hop on your horses, and head on over to town. Head on over to Gulch. All right. As you guys are riding on out, who is taking the lead?
Sam will be one of the ones that takes the lead.
Okay, great.
That's what he's used to doing. But he'll have somebody up next to him, whoever wants to be like
We'll go
side
two
by
by
side.
two then.
2 by 2.
All right.
All right.
All right.
I will either be directly beside or behind Samson.
Nice.
And I'll
Yeah,
be
you'll
beside Furfoot.
Hell yeah.
Yep. Bass and Furfoot, you guys are on the back row. Furfoot, you're behind Sam, and Bass, you're behind Doc.
Got it.
Yep, go ahead and arrange that.
I'm just arranging
Perfect,
it there for
yeah.
you, just so
Yep,
that you have an
perfect
idea.
riding order.
Before we get too far on
Yes.
the ride itself, Sam is going to lean over towards Doc and just be like, Doc, I'd like to make a little bit of a donation to the church, if you don't mind.
Ooh.
Doc, I'm gonna look him up and down and say, all right, he's gonna kind of stutter a little bit, because this is something that's maybe happened, but like, you know, they don't talk about it. So he's kind of wondering where this is coming from on this exact morning.
Well, I've just been thinking about all the mistakes I've made in my life, and I just hope this little and he pulls out a sack of coins and he hands it over. So I hope this little donation will help and appease old great Saren Ray. And he puts his hands up in like a worship motion. Just like, oh, Saren Ray.
Perfect. Doc's gonna take it. He's gonna open his medical bag and really tuck that in there, almost like there's like a secret compartment in there. A very well used compartment in the back there that feels really safe and secure. He's just gonna give a really solemn nod and say, I'll make sure this gets where it needs to go.
Excellent. I wanted to make sure that
All
got
right,
taken care of
great.
before we get too far into town.
Before you point out Doc's general attitude and negativism.
General attitude and negativism.
Consider the lilies of the dead gum field.
I mean, use Furfoot as your example of inspiration.
What?
All right, so you guys are riding out and going on 2 by 2. Where you found yourselves in the woods, it was a perfect clearing, yes, but it is a little tough navigating on horseback, and especially it was hard getting your guys' wagon through there with all of Maribel's supplies in order to keep the camp going. And as you guys break out of the foliage, you hop on the main road. Now it's much easier riding. And now with the sun getting a little bit higher on in the day, there is still a nice, cool northern wind that's cutting through that you guys are riding into all the way back to Gulch. I'm going to say Samson and Furfoot. Give me perception checks, you guys.
Sure thing.
Ooh, okie dokie. I do actually have a question. Are we passing by the creek on the way to the Gulch?
You are. And this is what that's for.
11.
I want to see Zeke. I want to see him. Hold on. Skills, thank you. My God. Roll good, please. Roll.
Oh,
21.
Yes!
All right. So you guys are riding and getting into small talk about errands and the weather, and those last couple of bounty hunters got a little closer than you would have liked. You guys are Furfoot. This is a perfect morning to just zone out and start looking at things around you.
That is the most in-character thing for both me and Furfoot ever. Thank you.
the tiny insistent mind goblins in your brain are telling you, I wonder what kind of flower is that? Those trees sure are big. Can you lose a tree in the middle of a forest? As you're thinking about all of this stuff, there's a parting in the trees where you guys can actually get a much better look down into the ravine where the river's at. Sure enough, there is light reflecting off of the river, but not enough to really hurt your eyes. And Furfoot, you are able for a moment to see the telltale figure of your guys' friend Zeke. He looks to be almost like a dot, but you can kind of make out his posture, and he seems to be just sitting on a big rock facing the river.
Furfoot's just gonna squint a little bit. Everyone else is probably still riding, but they have stopped their horse by this point, and they're just squinting a little bit.
Hey, can you guys watch Blaze for me real quick?
And they're just gonna let go of the reins, hop off of the horse, and just noggin to noggin, just give a couple quick nuzzles to Blaze right on the snoot, and get on all fours and immediately start running down towards the creek.
Sam is just gonna make sure to be like, Furfoot, you really oughtn't, but if you are, be quick about it.
They're going.
Yep.
They have no intention
He was
of...
just gonna, he wasn't gonna stop you either.
No?
Good.
All right. Who's grabbing the reins of Blaze?
Now the reins of Blaze, since Blaze should be next to me.
Yes.
Brilliant. Thank you, Bass. All right. So we're going to go ahead and have a couple of beats going at about the same time.
Okay.
All right.
It's going to take Furfoot a little while to get down into the ravine, not fall over, bust their head open.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
So,
no. They're
some
a careful kitty cat, but they still gotta be careful.
Mm-hmm. For now, we're going to go with the trio, and you guys are coming into the town of Gulch. This town, it's obviously has a focus on trade, but you could see that there are the beginnings of a small lumber mill that wants to start using the natural resources of the trees around them. You guys can see that there's also an auction area for livestock where people are bringing in their cattle, their sheep, their horses. You're able to trade, you're able to buy, you're able to sell there. But you guys know that most of your supplies are going to be over at the general store.
Right.
And just cutting on down the main street, I would say that it doesn't take long for you guys to be able to find it. Along the main street, you're able to find a general store, a tavern, and a hotel, proper hotel with, baths. So now you guys are plodding down the main street. There was the soft click-clack of your hooves along the road and along the stone. There is now a much softer, much wetter splat sound as your horses move through some of this mud that still hasn't had a chance to dry up from the morning.
Mm-hmm.
And now you guys are coming on down Main Street.
All right.
We're relaxing, feeling good.
Do we see the general store on the main street?
Yes, yeah, the three of you can see it.
All right. Bass, there's the general store there if you want to go and check that out. And I turn to Doc and be like, Doc, do we need to go to like a particular place to get your stuff?
You guys also do see that there's a barber pole outside of the tavern.
Okay. Good to know.
All right, so Doc's going to clock in on that as well. But he's going to be like, I'm going to check out the general store for a couple things. See kind of what sundry they're carrying, but I'm going to pop over to the saloon before we leave. Don't let me forget. So I guess he's going to hitch up Wing and start plodding on over to the general store.
Yep. All three of us will hook up all our horses in front of the general store and just head there first.
Yep. As you guys are coming up the steps, already tied off your horses, you're going up the steps to the general store, coming out of the store. Sam, there's unfortunately another guy coming out, another human person coming out. He bumps shoulders with you and he says, "Oh, sorry, partner." And he says that instinctively, and then that's when he pulls up the bill of his hat, and there was a smile on his face, but when he sees you, that smile goes away, and it almost looks like that there's a frown before he looks at the rest of you and just keeps walking.
Okay. Interesting.
Yeah. You can tell that orcs and half-orcs and snake people are pretty uncommon around these parts.
Okay. Good to know. Sam will make a mental note of that and just continue on and be like, sorry about that as he continues in.
Mm-hmm. As you guys walk on in, it is a wonderfully quaint general store. There's just one aisle taking up the middle of the room with produce and, canned goods. And on the other side of the room, there appears to be a halfling woman with her hair tied into two very tight buns on the back of her head. And she says, Well, good morning.
Howdy there, miss. Me and my fellows here are needing a few supplies.
Well, fortunately, I believe I have enough for you, but let's see what you need.
All right. Bass, be kind and pull out the list.
Yes, sir. I'll make sure to do that. Here you go, ma'am. Here's the list of the supplies we need.
Bess, I'm going to say that you've stepped up to the counter and you're basically reading off the list of all the bacon, cheese, eggs, bread, everything that you guys are going to need. While you're doing that, Sam and Doc, give me perception checks.
Sure thing.
Ooh.
Natural 1 for Doc, 21 for Sam.
All right. It's at this point that the two of you are just sort of now browsing, since one of your guys' team members is actually handling the list and how much that's all going to cost. While the two of you are beginning to browse, Doc, you're noticing that on the shelf, you can see a display titled Norman Houston's Amazing Cure-All Bitters. And so you're picking up one of the bottles that's overly designed and you put on the back and you spin around the back. You can see that the list of ingredients are kind of on the vague side. And you get the impression that there's a good chance there's a ton of morphine in this thing. But while you're doing that, Sam, you notice that over on the west wall, there is a billboard with a ton of advertisements and odd jobs posted all over the place. But then there's something underneath one of the other flyers that catches your eye. You can see looks like half of a wanted poster.
Okay. Sam is gonna just look around, make sure nobody's fully paying attention to him at the moment, and just kind of peel away the top poster to look underneath.
Wanted, $200, Furfoot. And it is a terrible rendering of Furfoot.
Oh no.
Like, it's not even a bobcat.
Yeah. It looks like a photograph of a regular house cat.
With a hat on.
With a hat on.
I am gonna weep and sob if I find that poster. I will claw at it.
Sam is going to go ahead and just yank the poster down from the thing, roll it up, and put it into his...
Give me a
his pack.
sleight of hand check just to make sure that nobody notices that you're kind of covertly hiding
Sure
something.
thing, sir. Sleight of hand. Here we go.
Oh, and
17.
it's also Furfoot of the Dugan Misfits.
Okay, yeah. 17.
Aw.
Alrighty. I'm going to go ahead and do a perception for the lady. I'm going to say that she's going to take a penalty as well because she's in the middle of talking to Bass.
Crossing my fingers. Don't
Actually,
roll
you know
good.
what, Bass? If you could, go ahead and roll a sleight of hand check. What this is going to do is that this is going to aid another.
Yeah.
All I need you to do is to pass a check for me, and you'll be giving Samson a +2.
Ooh, okay.
So roll the sleight of hand.
Oh,
Natural
baby!
Hello, nat 20, let's go.
I'm going to say that with a nat 20, and this is just a Smiter rule. This is not a Pathfinder rule.
Yes.
We're going to bump that up to +4 for
Sweet.
him.
Hell yeah.
That would
And
make
mind
it...
All by the-
This is Bass not even really trying. Bass, I'm going to say out of the corner of your eye, you notice that Samson is trying to fiddle with something with this board and this message board, and you see him look over his shoulder and look at you to be all like, dude, keep her busy.
Ma'am, by the way, while you were talking, which I greatly appreciate, I was just wondering, you got a box of playing cards by chance? Just regular old-fashioned cards, 52-card pickup type cards, you know, that type of thing.
She says, well, sure, I have those kinds of cards, but don't you know? And she leans forward and she says, gambling's a sin.
Well, you know, I don't use them for gambling. You see, when I was a younger man and my son was young, I do card tricks for him. So I'd flip him cards and do different things, do little tricks with card bridges and things like that. So I don't gamble. I just do card tricks. You know, sometimes if they're cheering around, you know, things like that, just to ease the tension, make sure they ain't scared if something's going on. I'll start doing card tricks to ease their mind.
She says, oh, well, in that case, card tricks are lovely. Now, I do have a deck for you. How old is your son?
You know, he went off to school. He would have been 18 on the day he'd gone off to college. So he's just a fantastic age. He's an inventor type. Love reading magazines and all sorts of stuff and engineering and things like that. So, matter of fact, I can show you a card trick if you don't mind me showing you one.
She says, oh, well, that card trick is lovely. No gambling, though. And she giggles when she says that.
Oh, no gambling, ma'am. You ain't got to worry about me. Like I said, I am not a gambling man. I'm just trying to do the best that I can.
And when he says, I'm not a gambling man, that's when Samson just quickly rips off the wanted poster and tucks it away.
Tucks it away.
He does a little bridge. He takes the deck of cards. He spreads them out on the table. And he takes one of the cards and just kind of flips it with his finger and his thumb. And so it like spins in the air and flips to the other hand. And then he takes it up and he flips it in his hand a couple times and throws it back into the deck. And he's like shuffling and just having her look at him while he's doing it.
Cool. Go ahead and give me a bluff check, bro. Because you ain't a gambling man.
No, just trying to do the best I can. So I rolled a 13.
Brilliant. So your hands are kind of stiff from this morning. You haven't had a chance to really sort of flex your knuckles and warm your hands up. And this is sort of an impromptu display because you're kind of covering for Samson. I'm going to go ahead and roll for her. That's a natural 1. So your hands are actually pretty stiff from this morning, but you're able to get through the entire trick. And she goes, oh, that's lovely, that is.
Well, I'm glad you enjoy. You know, like I say, I just like to be able to do stuff like that every now and then. It keeps the hands limber, too.
She says, well, that's really good to know, love. Now, for the rest of your friends, what else do you need? Now she's actually able to collect everything that you needed off the grocery list for food.
So at this point, Doc's going to come over, and he's been surveying the shop and looking around, and he's having a bit of an internal struggle about that their bottle of... Oh, and he doesn't like this term, but that their bottle of snake oil that he's seen. But he also knows that, you know, while it might not be what it purports to be, that, you know, a whole bottle full of morphine is never something to turn one's nose up at. So he's going to bring a bottle up to the counter and put it down nice and gently in front of that lovely halfling shopkeep and kind of inquire about the price. And then he's going to lean in, not conspiratorially, but just to kind of lower his voice. And he's going to start inquiring about if she has any kind of like dried herbs that he doesn't want everyone else in the shop to hear.
Okay. I'm going to say that because Bass is right there.
Right there.
So for you, for sure, Doc, let's go ahead and do a sleight of hand check. Will, if you want Bass to notice this and try to suss out what's going on, give me a sense motive check from Bass.
Sleight of hand is 11 for me.
Okay. Bass rolled a 10. So you're able to just covertly converse between you and the shopkeeper, and she asks you about particular dried herbs. She asks you about if you need ginger or anything like that. You basically are able to list out everything that you need. Fortunately, it's not too expensive, but when you bring up the miracle cure, she kind of perks up and she says, oh, that's lovely, isn't it? You see, young man come through here and he starts selling, and then it turns out old Mr. Johnson starts growing his hair back.
Sounds like something I might be able to use. I've been bald-headed as long as I've been young.
And how much for the amazing mystery magical cure there, ma'am?
Oh, 1 bottle will be 2 gold pieces. I'm going to say, Doc, you personally, with your medical background, you are getting really big charlatan vibes going on here. Like, it's clear that this lady is super sweet and really into meeting new people, and who knows how much she gets out, but it's pretty clear that she is enthusiastic about, oh, new miracle cure, how interesting.
Certain that it's pretty much just morphine in a bottle. Like, do I need to do a medicine check or anything?
Yes.
Like,
if you wanted to know specifically like what's in this thing, I would say give me a heal check.
check, thank you.
And while that's going on, we are going to flip the scene. We're going to go back to
Natural
Furfoot.
20.
Natural 20.
Wow. What is it with everybody getting such good rolls? It's gonna bite us later, isn't it?
Oh, for sure.
For sure.
This is gonna bite us so hard.
I can't save you, but I can tell you what's in that bottle.
It's not
No,
great.
you can save us, you just don't want to save us because this is the 5th gunshot wound in a day and you're tired and you're just going to bed.
It's just full of cartoon ingredients. Red dye number 5, red flannel.
The hell's a blue 57?
All right, so we're going to actually go ahead and go back to Furfoot. Furfoot, go ahead and give me a climb check as you're sliding down into this ravine.
I am a kitty cat. I should do fine. Oh yeah, I'm gonna do great.
Cross your fingers for not a natural 1. That's a 25 to climb.
Oh yeah, I'll
Furfoot,
take it.
It is easy and effortless. You know when to cling onto the wall, you know when to cling onto the hill, and when to just slide on down. It doesn't take much time to be able to get down there, and now you're coming up behind Zeke. Zeke is a big guy. Zeke also usually likes to just wear a simple shirt, some jeans, and his boots and his hat. He's really
How tall is he, would you say?
I would say he's about 6'1". And
Okay, let me mark that down really quick.
he's 6'1".
So they're like an entire foot taller than Furfoot. Despite their name, they are not very tall.
An entire Furfoot taller.
There you go. His back is pretty large, easily over 200 pounds. Not much of that is fat. Before you knew him, he grew up on a farm. He was a farmhand. He and his brother Tuck, they lived there together until eventually the farm got bought up and their parents couldn't afford to keep them around. And so they went to go live with relatives. They realized that they hated those relatives, and so they struck out on their own, and they met up with the Dugan Gang. And with what happened to Tuck not that long ago, only a month ago, Zeke has been more and more distant from the gang. And now you find him sitting there, and it looks like he's just got a handful of pebbles that he's just sort of chucking into the river.
Furfoot's just gonna break their own personal character. Most of the time, they're usually very outgoing and sociable and energetic and a little bit loud, but for once, they're just gonna sort of calm down and chill out. They're not gonna try and sneak up on Zeke. They're instead just gonna sit on one of the bigger rocks next to Zeke, still trying to give him some distance, but be close enough to at least be seen without startling him and getting a rock thrown at them.
So you just kind of sit up, perch up next to him. There's a long quiet, and Zeke's actually the first one to break the silence. He doesn't look at you. Just in between, chucking pebbles into the river. What you want, furry?
First of all, ow! And Furfoot, also not
He's in a bad
looking,
mood.
Yeah, I can tell.
Yeah.
Furfoot, without looking, is also going to, while still sitting on the rock, just use their bottom paws to pick up a small handful of smoother pebbles, maybe some flat ones, maybe some rounder ones, and also start chucking them into the river with Zeke. And in between chucking pebbles is just going to say, "You didn't show up for breakfast this morning. I got worried."
He throws out a couple more pebbles. Weren't hungry.
Did you tell Dugan you left? Or did you just go?
He actually drops the pebbles right down at his feet and takes a big old breath, wipes some of the dust off of his hand. What's this all about, Furfoot?
And I'm assuming Furfoot knows about what happened to
Oh, yeah.
Tuck, right?
I would say everybody in the camp knows about what's happened to Tuck, what's happened to Dugan.
Furfoot is still going to continue throwing pebbles, trying not to make eye contact unless Zeke is, like, actively shifting so that they're at least facing where Furfoot would be looking.
You've been getting distant. Been worrying me and the rest of everyone else.
And at this point, they will set down the pebbles on the ground in front of them. They're not going to drop them, they're just going to quietly set them down. And at this point, they'll put one hand on the rock, not shifting the way their body is, but just turning their head and just giving a genuine look of concern. Just ask,
Go ahead and give me a diplomacy check. This is just to be able to sort of get through that exterior layer that he's clearly putting up.
Oh, are you
Natural
kidding me?
one.
It's a natural 1!
He's going to stand up and he's going to say, and he's not walking away. He's just standing up and he's actually taking a couple steps closer to the river and kind of kicks a couple of rocks down into it. And he says, "Worry. Well, you tell everybody that they ain't got nothing to worry about because they don't have to worry about me."
Are you sure?
Am
You
I
left
sure?
your horse here this morning.
He's now rubbing his face in frustration, and when he turns around to you, that light blue tone that's usually deep set into his orcish features, you can kind of actually see red kind of coming into his face. What does that matter? When I'm out here and I'm just looking at a river, all of a sudden everybody's worried because I'm just looking at a river? That's all that I'm doing.
Furfoot just is starting to get a little pissed off at this and also stands up, just planting their hands on their hips. Well, excuse me, when one of the gang members I care about so much just ups and leaves out of nowhere, doesn't show up for breakfast, doesn't tell Dugan they left, leaves their horse, and leaves no trace behind, not even a note saying, "Hey, I'm down by the river." And they start to walk a little bit closer. They're not trying to sound angry or accusatory, but they're coming off that way without realizing it. I don't want anything to happen to you, okay?
Go ahead and give me another diplomacy check.
Please. Please. God
Okay.
damn it, it's a 10. My rolls are... This is what I get for all of you guys taking up my good rolls. Screw you guys.
That's
Screw
definitely what's happening
you.
here.
And he's gonna say, "Okay, maybe I went out for a walk. Maybe I wanted fresh air." And then that's when he looks around himself and says, "Fresher air. I don't know. Okay, Furfoot? I don't know what you want. I don't know what anybody else wants. I don't even know." And then he stops. And he actually takes off his hat and throws it down on the ground. And he says, "I don't even know what Tuck wanted."
And Furfoot just kind of drops their hands from their hips and slowly walks up. And getting on their tiptoes a little bit, they just place a soft, furry hand onto Zeke's shoulder. Their claws were starting to come out a little bit out of frustration. It's just something that happens. They can't help it. They've tried training in a way. They've tried trimming them down. They can't help when their claws just happen to be there. But there's no sign of claws whatsoever. It's just soft, furry paws on his shoulder.
I'm gonna ask you one more time, okay? And I'm not gonna force you to tell me if you really don't want to. But it's just us out here. And I ain't no snitch, and you know that. I'm a thief. I'm petty in that regard. But I'm not a snitch. So you wanna tell me what's going on? Why you're down here?
All right, one last diplomacy check.
Please.
Yes! Nat 20.
How do we bounce back
Thank
like
you,
that?
Orange Jesus. Thank you, Orange Jesus.
I'm back.
We're so back. It's so over. We're so back.
We're so back.
I need to find the image I'm referencing. Hold on.
No, I get it.
All right. When you do that, Zeke is actually going to put a hand back on your shoulder, and you can see now he's actually trying to fight back tears. And he's saying, when we were little, it was so stupid. It was so stupid. When we were little, Tuck would take me to the river every once in a while. And when he would, we would get into these big arguments. Like, we would fight so much. And Tuck, you know, he would say this stupid thing. He would tell me, "I bet you I could skip the rock 6 times." And I would tell him, "You're a damn liar." And then we would fight. But I would win because I'm bigger than him. Because I was bigger than him. And then you know what would be the damnedest thing? I would throw the rock and I could never get it to skip 6 times. But he could. And he looks back over the river and he says, Tuck could do anything. Tuck could do anything, and And now you can see he's really starting to break down. And I can't do nothing. I can't do nothing without him. I can't.
Furfoot's just gonna cut him off in the middle of his talking and just hug. It's a very soft hug. It's firm, but it's meant to be comforting. And just quietly.
Yeah. And he reciprocates and he wraps his arms around you. You can feel this big guy just sort of sobbing in your arms. And he keeps whispering to himself, I can't do anything. I can't do anything without him. You guys stay in that moment for a while. And before he eventually pulls back, he pulls out a handkerchief and he wipes his face, he wipes his nose. There's a moment of calm between the two of you. You can tell it's playful, but he says, "Now don't you tell nobody about what I said."
Furfoot just gives a very gentle smile and just nods. I told you, I'm a thief. I might be petty, but I ain't no snitch. I ain't gonna tell no one about what happened, what you said, why you were here. Your secret's safe with me, man. Promised on all my lives.
He bends down, picks up his hat, puts it back on, and wipes his face one last time. He says, "Oh, I know. I know you wouldn't tell anybody. I'm not worried about that."
Can I actually do something? Before, assumedly, Zeke walks off?
Mm-hmm.
Would I have to roll a perception check to see if I can find the flattest rock on the ground? Like, the flattest one that I can possibly find?
I'm gonna say no, but for what you're thinking about doing, give me a dexterity check.
Damn it.
10.
Okay. So, Furfoot, you go ahead, you bend down, grab yourself a rock. What do you do?
I'll actually grab two.
Mm-hmm.
I'll take a less flat one myself, and the flattest one that's in the immediate area, I'm just gonna hold in my free hand and just look upwardsly at Zeke. You want to give it one more shot before we go back?
He chuckles
I'm sure
and he
Tuck
says,
would want it.
He chuckles and he says, "Well, there's no beating Tuck's number, but I guarantee you're not going to be able to beat my number."
How many you got under your belt?
And he holds up the rock. He says, "I bet you I can skip this 5 times."
Bet's on. 10 gold pieces.
And he's going to go ahead and do a roll. All right, and we're going to compare it against yours. Okay. With the both of you, you both throw your rocks out at the exact same time. And given where your rolls landed, both of your guys' rocks hit the water and then go bloop right down into him. Don't even skip once. And when that happens, Zeke doubles over laughing. He was all like, "That feels about right," and he just starts roaring laughter. He pulls you in, he puts an arm around you, he pulls off your head, he gives you a little noogie. He puts your hat back on and he says, "Now you said there was breakfast back home?"
Mm-hmm. But before we go, Furfoot's gonna dig around in their pocket a little bit, and they actually do pull out 10 gold pieces, and I will actually subtract this from my total amount of gold that I have. They pull out 10 gold pieces, and in a furry fistful of gold, they just hand it to Zeke. That's a bet. Take your prize, man.
And Zeke says, "I didn't win," and he just splits half of it. 5 for you, 5 for him.
I'll take it. I'll take it. You know what? I'll take that. I'll take that. God, I love these NPCs so much. I love them.
All right.
Oh my gosh.
Now that you've done that, we're going to go ahead and get back to the trio.
Yes. Go ahead.
Guys, you did the last bit of transaction in between that. As you guys are paying for everything. Doc, you're looking at the bottle, and with that natural 20... you can tell that there's like 2 ingredients in here that are helpful, and the rest of it can just be found in cola.
Now, there's 2 ingredients that are helpful. I'm trying to ascertain if this is going to be some, like, quick stash of painkillers.
Yes.
Because, okay, perfect.
Yes.
So Doc's going to play along, and he's not going to upset this fine halfling woman. Yes, he knows that this is a scam, but he also knows that he can use it the way that he wants to. So he's gonna go ahead and pay for that bottle of snake oil. And also the herbs that he had previously discussed with the shopkeep as well. So
Okay. I'm going to say that with everybody pulling in their money that they got in from the last job, the money that you all had got from the last job is just enough to pay for all of this, so none of you have to pay out of pocket.
Mhm.
Oh.
I gave Doc all of the gold that he got.
Oh, that's true. Yeah. So that 25, Doc, that you got, we'll go ahead and mark that got used to pay for all this.
Okay.
You guys are loaded up on groceries, you're loaded up on medicine, and you were even able to find some medical supplies. Not a lot, but able to find exactly what you were looking for. You guys step on back out. Horses are still waiting for you. All 3 of you, give me a perception check.
Sure thing.
8.
7.
Ooh.
Got 10.
You got 10? Okay.
10.
I'm going to say, as you guys are loading up your saddlebags and putting now all the groceries and everything on Blaze, Furfoot's horse,
Yep.
I'm going to say, Bass, something catches your eye. Down the main street, it looks like that there is a man with a wide black hat and a long red overcoat. We're talking almost out of sight. It looks like that he has a piece of parchment similar to a wanted poster, and he's looking at it, and he's looking in your guys' direction, and he's folding it up, and he leans over and he talks to a bystander who turns and points in your guys' direction. And then he breaks off from that conversation. He's quite a bit of ways off, but it's clear he's looking right at you guys.
Guys, I think we got some problem. I think we got somebody that might be coming after us as a bounty hunter or something. He's got one of them there parchments that was on the wall earlier. And he's coming our way.
And I look over. Do I see that?
Now that he's pointed it out, you could see, that individual, it looks like he's about 300, 350 feet away.
Mm-hmm.
And it looks like that, he's looking right at you guys as he's fiddling through his saddlebags.
Okay. Sam, in a low voice, so just the 3 of them can hear, he, very serious, he says, "All right, saddle up. Let's get moving."
Okay, let's go. I'm with you.
Okay.
All right.
We're gonna
Yep.
unhitch our horses and start in a hurried but not like obviously hurried manner.
Right. So you guys hop back on your horses. You're riding back to camp. And about the spot where Furfoot hopped off their horse, went down into the ravine, you now see Furfoot clambering back up and coming back through the brush. Furfoot, you see your friends. They're coming back down the road. You caught them just in time. And none of them had the gall to put any of those groceries or anything on any of their horses. They're all on Blaze.
As Furfoot's scrambling back up, Sam says, "Well, you're looking whole and ungobbled."
Furfoot, not even acknowledging what Samson said, just immediately looks to Blaze. What the hell did you do to my horse? And they just immediately run over and start looking at all the different groceries. Did you start using Blaze as a pack mule?
Well, I mean, you weren't riding him.
I had to ride this one. And he gives Furfoot just like a sly grin. His tusks kind of poking out a little.
Yep.
They just blink at you.
Never do this again. One time. Never do this again.
Sam says, "Oh, don't get your tail in a bunch," and he reaches down to help you up onto Mocha, his own horse.
Furfoot will give you another eye roll, but will in fact not try to protest this action of pulling themselves onto the horse. They will not protest. They will just get on the horse.
Yep.
Sam will help them up on the horse.
Yep. All riding up on Mocha.
Sam kind of fills Furfoot in at this time. Be like, "Saw some suspicious people." He takes a deep breath and then releases. I'm gonna have to tell Dugan.
You hear Doc just quietly kind of hiss under his breath, and he's like, shit.
You guys are all riding on back.
Oh, and he pulls out the wanted poster and be all like, somebody captured your likeness, handsome.
Furfoot, you take the wanted poster, and it is a terrible render of you.
Furfoot just looks at the poster, looks back at the rest of the gang, looks down at the poster again, and then looks back to the rest of you.
Why would you keep this?
It says 200 gold pieces for the capture of Furfoot. No known real name.
Well, at least they got that part right.
Yep, it said part of the Dugan Gang. And the wanted poster says wanted for theft, thievery, stealing, and mischief.
Correct.
Accurate.
Theft, thievery, burglary, grand larceny, and general mischief.
General mischief.
Correct.
Oh, you want to be careful about that tomfoolery. That one's the heaviest charge.
That's right. They've executed people for less.
Before you guys get back into camp, I'm going to say all four of you give me a perception check.
Alrighty.
Oh boy, yippee! We love making
Well,
checks.
if one of us does a good job.
You better watch out. You better watch
You better
out.
watch out.
Watch out.
You better
watch out.
Jingles.
10.
Come on,
Perfect.
where's my nat 20?
Perfect. Ooh, not bad, guys.
Yep.
Roll a
Alright.
19.
Doc, you're kind of busy going back through your medical bag, making sure everything's there, and begrudgingly putting
Hold on.
that snake oil in there. And Bass does, Furfoot does not. Furfoot, you're still kind of going over the atrocity that is this wanted poster. But Bass, you and Samson look back, and you guys can see following pretty far off, but still definitely following. It's that rider from earlier. Long red coat, black hat, and it looks like that he's riding by himself. But I'm going to say, Samson, with your natural 20, not only are you able to see him, but you can see what looks to be like a wagon even farther back from behind him, following his same path.
I think we got a straggler.
Eh?
Furfoot just
Well-
whips their head around.
That one guy with the red cloak that had it on, yeah, he's behind us. And so, what are we going to do?
You can tell they're still a ways off. You guys might have some time to run in and at least pass the word along.
Yeah.
We definitely don't want to lead them back to camp unless we're ready for it.
I don't think we have much of a choice. And Sam is gone serious face right now. If we hurry, we might be able to let everybody know. If anything, if these people are here to cause trouble, I only see two at the moment. Don't know if there's more in that wagon behind, but if they intend to do us harm, they're gonna have a fight waiting for them. Let's double time, folks.
All
On
right,
it.
step it up.
All right. You all go from a trot into a canter and ride your way back. You guys do a sharp cut into the woods, hopefully to throw them off a little bit, buy yourself some time before you come riding on into camp at a fairly rigorous speed. At this time, Annie is around, Zeke is around, everybody is around in camp, thankfully. And as you guys come right down into town, Spritz is the first one to be all like, welcome back. Whoa, where's the fire?
Sam does this move that he's practiced with the other people
Oh, yeah.
plenty of times where he stands on just one of the stirrups
Yeah.
to get off, and he takes the reins in his hands and he passes them back to Furfoot as he steps off his own horse. It's a very quick, very swift movement here.
Yeah. Great.
And he says, Spritz, get your gun. And he's gonna just keep walking.
He said,
And he's
Yep.
making a beeline right to where Dugan is.
you're going to walk right past Spritz as you say that, and Spritz is going to go, my gun! My gun! And he runs back to his tent.
I love
And any other people
Yeah.
that I see that's like within...
They're
like,
coming up to you, and they're
Yeah.
like, what's going on, Samson? Let's go.
Some people coming. Grab your stuff. We may need to defend ourselves.
Where's the Annie get your gun reference?
Annie, get your gun. Where's Annie?
All right.
Is Annie okay?
Is Annie okay?
Annie, are you okay?
All right.
No.
So everyone's starting to scramble. This is a familiar sensation to them, so everybody knows where to go and get their stuff. By this time, because you've been loud enough, Dugan is already coming out of his tent with his lever action rifle, and he says, "All right, Mr. Holiday, where are they coming from?"
They're following right behind us, sir.
All right, everybody, I want all guns pointed east. Everybody, find yourself some cover.
If I need to help anybody, but I want to make sure everybody's got ammo, got their guns, got like a good position before I put myself into like an advantageous position.
Yep. Everyone's posted up with shotguns, rifles, pistols. Everyone's taking cover on the west side of objects, facing east. You know, once you're all squared up, everybody's kind of crouched down. You're either behind something, standing up, or you're crouched down behind something or laying down. And you guys are waiting. Spritz kind of takes this task upon himself to basically run to everybody, passing around bullets.
Yep. Sam's got his own belt pouch. He loads a bullet into his gun.
Yep.
Make sure that it's loaded.
I want everybody to imagine different positions that you're all taking up in the camp. I know the layout is vague, but each one of your characters is either going to be ducking behind a wagon wheel or a chest or what have you. And now you guys are all in a position to wait. Moments pass. You guys don't hear anything. Dugan is now running in between positions of all of you, telling you where to point your guns and keep an eye out if you see anything. Because what he's anticipating is a surprise attack. He's anticipating people to shoot from the trees and to shoot from all around you. And so he's telling you all to just keep an eye out, make sure to cover each other. Your guys' strat as a gang has been to cover each other, move, and then cover as you're moving.
Yeah. As a matter of fact, which arm is it that Spritz is injured?
Spritz is injured in his left arm.
In his left arm? Excellent. Sam is a lefty, so he posts up next to Spritz on his left-hand side and has his gun ready next to Spritz.
Yeah.
It's kind of covering his weak left side.
Yep. As you tuck right next to Spritz, he's very excited. He's pointing out a revolver with his right hand. He turns to you and says, "Oh man, this is going to be great. This is going to be great. How many did you say it was? Like 20? How many did you say?"
I only saw 2 for sure.
2? Wait a second. And he actually stands up from where we're getting this wound up from 2?
He stands up. Sam reaches up and pushes him back down from his head. And he said, "They had a wagon. There might have been more. I don't know."
And it's at this point that all of you can hear twigs snapping and branches getting broken down on the east side. And then emerging out from there is that man with the red jacket and the black hat coming out with his hands up. And he says, "Senores y senoritas, I am here to talk to the Dugan Gang. I do not want to get shot. Please do not shoot me." And then Dugan yells out, "What's your business with the Dugan Gang?" And he says, "I have in my pocket money for hire. I wish to hire the Dugan Gang." And at this point, this has never happened in the entire history of the gang. Nobody's ever approached you guys like this, let alone offered a job to you guys. Dugan is prone behind a log, but he's able to look at you, Samson, and he's able to look at you, Bass, and he looks confused. He looks over at you guys and is like, "What is this?"
Sam he'll make the motion of all like he's gonna sheath his firearm.
Yeah.
And he does the hand motions to communicate with Dugan. Basically be like, "I'm gonna go check it out."
Yeah.
And he motions to whoever can see him.
Yeah.
I don't know who all can see Sam at the moment, but motions like, keep an eye on me, don't let me get shot.
All right. I'm going to say Doc, Bass, and Furfoot can all see you, and you're able to communicate that to them.
Yeah.
Furfoot, just for funsies, would you say that Furfoot is up a tree watching all of this?
Yes, Furfoot is in a tree.
All right, go ahead and
Of
give
course
me a
they
climb
would be.
check.
They've just wormed their way up into one of the thicker trees, and they're just, like, basically lying down. If you go behind the tree, you'll be able to barely see the tips of their feet and a little bit of their tail, but they are pretty much covered.
Great, give me a climb check.
Climb.
Ha, you already know.
All right, that's an 18 to climb. Great, you were able to get there, no problem.
Hell yeah, as I should.
All right. So you've communicated that to everybody?
So he sheaths his pistol and he puts his head up and says, "How can I help you, senor?"
The guy actually drops his arms and he looks relieved. Oh, thank God. Finally, there's somebody here with some civility. Now, senor, are you Senor Dugan?
No, unfortunately, Senor Dugan is indisposed at the moment. I am his, and he pauses for like a half second.
How do I explain this?
No, he pauses because it kind of hurts to say.
Yeah.
He's still not 100% sure. I am his second. How can I help you?
Senor, my name is York. I represent, he shrugs, he says, we'll call him a benefactor.
York. All right. What does your benefactor want?
Well, he wants to see about hiring the Dugan Gang. And
What?
may I step forward and assume that I will not be, how do you say, perforated?
You have anybody else with you?
Oh, of course, senor. I've got my benefactor in his wagon just behind me on the road.
Your benefactor is here.
And then that's when his eyes go wide. No.
Do I have to make a check for that?
Please.
Give me,
I need to know. He's lying through his teeth,
all
isn't
four
he?
of you, because you can hear this.
Yes, all four.
All four of you give me sense motive checks.
Yeah.
Please, I need to see this man lie. Oh,
20,
nice.
not natural.
God damn it.
Furfoot
God
got a
damn it,
4,
Doc.
Doc got a natural 1,
Yeah.
but a 5.
There we go.
God damn it, we're all
6.
mad at
Wow.
him. He's lying.
All of you can't see him, but you can hear him, and it sounds like he might have just flubbed. He's nervous, so he might have just accidentally, said something incorrect, and now he's trying to correct the statement.
Ooh.
Samson, that doesn't fly with you.
Yeah.
Oh,
You can tell that he's
press
lying.
him.
You don't know how bad he's lying.
Right.
You don't know if it's really just his benefactor or if it's an entire battalion behind him.
Mm-hmm. So Sam goes, "Well, I can meet with your benefactor. You may have him or her or they come forward."
Senor, the situation's a little bit delicate. My benefactor needs to keep his identity. And then when he says his, he pauses and says, or hers, or their identity secured, so that what we're going to be proposing to you is kept on the, how do you say, the down low?
Yes, the down low.
I will be speaking on their behalf.
Well, the Dugan Gang don't really like to work with that.
Please, senor, let me at least tell you what we need and what we're willing to offer.
All right, let's hear it.
May I enter your camp, sir?
And he looks down and is just like, "Pretty sure you crossed the clearing already."
And he looks down and he's like, to him, it makes no difference. He has no clue where the line. He says, "Oh, the border of your camp was."
It doesn't matter. Come on
okay.
over.
Oh, sorry. I'm very sorry, sir. And he comes forward.
Now, about the others out there?
Oh, yes, I can go back and tell them that I've begun discussions, and I will be right back.
Okay. But also let them know that, should they try anything funny, we got 50 people out here armed.
You say that as a point of intimidation,
Yeah.
but he looks astonished.
Mhm.
Like, whoa. 50 people. Go ahead and give me a bluff check. See if he believes
Sure
you.
thing. 26.
Yeah, let's go.
And he got a 5.
Excellent.
So when you say we got 50 people, and he says, yes, that's wonderful. The more we need, yes, absolutely. As many guns as we need. I'm going to go. This is wonderful news. This is wonderful news. I will go and tell my benefactor right now, and I will be right back.
Right. And when you return, only a small fraction of them will be
As
visible.
he's already starting to leave.
All right. Well, I'm going to wait until he's out of earshot, and then I'm going to walk to Dugan,
Yeah.
to wherever he's hitched up.
Yeah, he was laying down prone behind a log, and as he sees you just casually walking up, he knows there's no danger, and he stands up.
Yeah. He's got a benefactor here with him. He wants to hire the gang, it seems.
Yeah, I heard. What's your read on him? Does he seem honest?
He seems honest to a fault, honestly. And always those honest people you always got to look out for, honestly.
Dugan scratches his chin, and he says, "We never had anybody want us before."
Hey, Sam kind of looks down, and then he looks up and he says, "First time I've felt wanted since I first got called here."
Dugan reaches over to put his hand on your shoulder, and then pulls back a little bit, and then says, "Well, suppose that's the point of the gang. Find the unwanteds that don't want to be wanted, and then eventually you find that they want each other. So," and he points a finger at your chest. It says, "I suppose you shouldn't forget that you're still wanted." And he lets that hang for a moment before he goes, "Dugan Gang, fall in."
What?
Everybody comes out of their hiding spots, and they all come into a
Furfoot is
circle.
going to carefully climb down from the tree.
Well, that's good. Cats are usually not great at that.
They're going to try, at the very least. Would I need to make another check for that, just to
Are we
see if
gonna
they
need
fall
to get-
out of the tree?
Are we going to need to get Zeke up there to get you down?
Yeah, I'm fine.
Yeah. Now the gang is all back together, and Dugan says, "Well, there's no point in trying to figure out what we don't know. So, let's focus on what we do know. Somebody was following us. Somebody's offering us a job. Whether or not it's on the level, we'll figure it out. We'll hear him out, and we'll see what he wants. And then, if it doesn't all play out, we'll just shoot him."
Sounds good to me.
All right, it's at this point that York returns. He looks excited as he's sort of fumbling through. He's not even a big guy. He's on the skinnier side, but he's still just sort of like trying to maneuver his way through the brush.
Oh, before he fully comes back,
Yeah.
Samson says to Dugan, now for whatever reason, he wanted to make sure that his benefactor's identity was not exposed. Should I make sure that we find out who that is, or should we respect that?
I think
Yeah,
for now
you know.
we'll respect that.
I mean, just hope that his benefactor ain't a big old gigantic dragon that wants to eat us afterwards.
Furfoot just very, raises their hand. They have it about, chin level.
If we ever need to go find out who their benefactor is, I'd call dibs.
And they just slowly, lean back to their standing posture.
Not sure
And
that's
acts like they hadn't said anything.
not sure that's necessary yet. We'll bide our time. And
For now.
All right. For meow.
Meow.
All right. So York returns, cutting through the brush, kind of fumbling his way through it, and he says, "Well, I have wonderful news, my friends. My benefactor could not be happier knowing that you have such a strong force behind you. I assume that this is just a small representative contingent of what you have."
Sam lets it pause for a little bit and goes, "Yep."
We gotta keep this lie going now. We've dug ourselves into this grave. Let's lie in it comfortably, ladies and gentlemen.
Excellent. Now, I have quite a bit to.
Oh, apologies. This is Dugan.
Oh, you must be the great wild man Dugan. And he goes over and he likes. Dugan shakes his hand, but he's like shaking Dugan's hand really fast. You got the scourge of the plateau, the great wild man of the West. They say that you could tame a steer just by staring at it. Dugan smiles and says, well, not by just staring at it. And now York is turned to the rest of you guys and says, I have heard quite a bit about the legendary Dugan and his Dugan Gang and his Dugan Gang of Misfits. You must be the Misfits! Yep.
I don't know why. I love him.
I look at Doc and I'm just like, Doc, I think his waiters are cutting off his circulation. He is wading in awfully thick on this smoke show we're getting.
Hey, if it's working out in our favor, let's go for it. At least nobody
Fair enough.
should that now.
York says, and I've heard about your eclectic group of friends. And he turns to Furfoot. He's like, you must be the soft-pawed thief, right?
That would be me. Pleasure to meet you.
He said, oh, that's amazing. That's so amazing. That's so cool. And then he turns to Doc and he says, and you must be the cold-blooded assassin surgeon, yes?
Doc just stares unblinkingly, like full snake face, and just doesn't say a dang thing.
That you hold that, and York doesn't stop his enthusiasm. He's still grinning at you, and then he goes, that's terrifying. Yes.
I love this man. Oh my god. I love him.
And he says, I'm very sorry, my friends. Yes, sorry. Perdóname. Let me explain. And he goes around and he starts collecting just rocks and twigs around the camp. But before he does that, he turns to you all as a group and says, does anybody have any models? And he's asking you roughnecks for proper models.
Do what now?
What? Models for what?
Maribel says, now ain't no man ever asked me for models when I first meet him. The nerve.
Sorry, you're gonna have to explain yourself.
Oh, I'm sorry. I need points of representation, of scale, and you know what? I'll just use these. And he starts collecting rocks and twigs. He starts lining up these rocks and these twigs in a long string.
Sorry, I didn't have enough time to make it up to model or to paint him.
Jeez, Doc.
Never did I think that we'd be doing a cowboy campaign and somehow manage to reference Back to the Future.
Oh, this ain't even gonna be the first one.
Oh boy.
Clearly, you've never seen Back to the Future 3. All right, we're moving on. So, he lays out all of these basically junk in a long string. My employer would love, he looks around to see, in case somebody's listening, aside from you guys, my employer would like you to rob a train.
I'm in. Deal. Furfoot's eyes have immediately lit up. As soon as the word rob left that man's lips, dollar signs, cha-ching! I'm in. All right, let's go. They crack their furry knuckles. And you have to, grab them by the collar. All right, let's go.
Sam reaches up, grabs Furfoot's hat, plucks it off their head, and puts it over their face. And says, let's get all the information first.
Is this a moving train, or are we talking about a train that's still at the tracks?
He says, an excellent question, my friend. Brilliant.
Exactly what I would expect from the Dugan Gang.
What I would have expected from such a brilliant gang.
All right. And Sam leans over to Doc, or not to Doc, to Bass, and just whispers, I ain't exactly playing with a full set, if you know what I mean.
Deck is definitely lighter than the deck I just bought, that's for certain.
So, this train is going to be in motion. I know that this is no large task for the great Dugan Gang. I've heard that you guys once slew a dragon in its sleep.
All right. I'm going to have to ask you to stop blowing smoke up us. Please explain what it is that you want to do before we change our minds.
He looks a little confused and he says, I am not blowing smoke. And then he shrugs and says, okay. Have any of you heard of the Ebony Spear?
Have we ever heard of the Ebony Spear?
All of you give me a knowledge local check.
Nice. I think I put some points into knowledge local.
I put points into knowledge.
Yeah, I did. I put a point into knowledge local. 5.
Yes!
Okay. So
I knew it would come up. That's why I put points in it.
Doc
I feel
got
so
a 7.
proud of myself.
Doc got a 7. Samson got a 5. Furfoot got 22. And Bass got a natural 20.
God damn it!
Brilliant. Okay. Doc, Sam, to your surprise, you've never heard of the Ebony Spear.
Must be a weird train.
Furfoot, you have heard of the Ebony Spear. What you've heard of it, it's a luxury liner. It is commonly used by people of the upper class to travel the long distances of the countryside without having to deal with the awful peasants. But Bass, from your military days, you recall hearing about the Ebony Spear, and you've heard that it has taken passengers as high as ranked as generals in there. But you also are aware that it's more or less a luxury civilian liner. It's privately owned. You can't for now recall the name of the company that owns it, but you know that it's a powerful company. And it's a very rich company. You also have heard that it's usually really heavily guarded. So he asks you guys, have you ever heard of it?
Furfoot just nods.
Sam says, nah.
Doc just barely imperceptible nod, but he shrugs.
Bass, do you want to tell the rest of the group what you know?
So basically, it's a spear that is heavily guarded by a group of very select individuals who have very unique specialities when it comes to protecting valuable items.
York is going to say, yes, exactly. It's always heavily guarded. Nobody's ever robbed this train. He looks at you guys excited, like, aren't you guys pumped about this?
Oh yeah, Furfoot's pumped.
Yeah, Sam will just give a glance towards Dugan. If he seems enthused about this, worried about this, anything like that.
Dugan's actually giving you a really hard read. He's just sort of scratching his chin, and his brow is obviously furrowed, but you can't tell if it's either in worry or if it's in deep thought. York says, but it's okay. You're not actually going to be robbing the train. Well, you can rob the train. My benefactor says that it's fine if you rob people on the train. He understands that you are all hard-working individuals, and so maybe a little bit of financial gain that way is completely fine. But what we really need is what's on the train.
Go on.
Oh, yes, of course. He reaches inside of his jacket, and when he does that, you can't help but notice that some of the gang members immediately put their hands on their guns, and he doesn't seem to notice.
Sam just kind of waves his hand.
All right,
Just kind of like, it's all good. Yeah.
And he reaches inside and he pulls out a piece of paper. I need you to grab a chest. It is a very special magical chest. And he opens it up. It's in the general shape of an oval. And we'll say it is about 3 feet long. It's a loose, very crude diagram. And you can see that along the outside is a metal formation of some sort to hold the container in place. And on each corner of this are legs made out of that very metal. Inside of this magical chest is an item that my benefactor wants back.
Sort of like a rescue mission. A get-backsies, if you will.
Well, a get-backsies, certainly, yes.
Well, he reaches out to take the diagram.
And he puts it in your hand.
And he looks at it and studies it for a bit. He passes it first to Doc to have a look at, and then Doc can pass it around should he want to. And then he says, all right, how much?
He looks at all of you and he says, now, I'm not sure what your going price is for all of this. I don't know how much you usually charge for robbing trains. And he stands there and he smiles like he's waiting for you guys to laugh at a joke.
Mm-hmm. Sam just kind of goes,
He says, but my benefactor is willing to offer 1,000 gold pieces each.
1,000
One.
each.
1,000?
For all 50 people here?
And he pauses and he goes, and he counts over in his head. Okay, maybe not 1,000 each, but you will be rewarded handsomely. On top of whatever you rob on that train, you keep for yourself.
Sam thinks about this for a little bit and he looks over at Dugan again. Any more information you need, sir?
Now, it is a mighty offer that you have given to us, but I must insist on speaking with the rest of my gang to determine whether or not this job is for us. Yes, of course. But for more details, for this train, we have a few options. Once you've gotten onto the train and you've managed to secure the chest, there are 2 points where you're going to be able to probably get off of the train. One is when it passes over a river. There's going to be a long drop into that river. It's a very wide river, very deep. So if you are able to hop off the train into that river, you will have guaranteed your exit. There is another time before that where I don't know how you all coordinate, but maybe you can use your horses to get off the train once you've secured your cargo. Oh, and then there's the third option.
Go on.
The train will eventually pull into a military base.
Oh.
And I do not recommend that you get off at that point.
Right.
Yeah, no, we should probably be off of the train by that point.
A lot more soldiers once you get to the military base, that's a certain.
Right.
So depending on how you conduct yourself will determine where you're going to be able to get off. Your last point of last resort of getting off, I'm telling you, is the river.
All right. Good to know.
For when you want to get on, judging for where the train is going to be going, because I do not want to pressure everyone, but the train is going to be passing by where we're thinking are the best places for it tomorrow. You see, on its way to that military base, there is a wide plateau where you're going to be able to ride right up to it, probably get on the back, or there's going to be another part where it is coming out of a cave. It's going to be coming out of a tunnel. Maybe you can board it by hopping onto it from the tunnel above. It is not for me to say. It is your choice.
Do you have any idea how much it costs to buy a ticket?
He thinks about it for a moment and he says, I can't imagine that it's too much, but I don't see the train pulling into any sort of stations anywhere near that. For example, if you were to go and try to hop onto the train while it's coming out of that tunnel, I'm loose on details, and then Dugan cuts in and he says, if we're gonna do that, then we're gonna have to get up early in the morning for that. Sounds like we've got a few options. We could either jump onto the train while it's coming out of that tunnel, we can board it while it's in the plateau. I think we're gonna need some time to think on it. Of course. When you have come down to your decision, I will be at the road.
Now, Mr. York, hold on just a second. Now, I got a question. Where is the nearest train station to here?
As far as I can remember, and he thinks about it for a while, and he says, it's going to be well past the city of Gulch.
How long far out?
Maybe 6 hours? Because he tries to lay it out in the diagram that he's listing out for you. He says, this train, these tracks are going to be passing by within an hour of where we are right now. So either you ride for an hour or an hour and a half and catch the train, or wait 6 hours to ride to another town.
Doesn't seem like it's too feasible to ride to the other town.
And he says, but I will leave that to your decisions.
Right. Go ahead and wait with your benefactor. We'll let you know.
And then after he waits for a little while, it's now in the afternoon and even early evening. Dugan says to you guys, well, it sounds like we got a couple of choices. All right. And Dugan stands up from where he was sitting and he says, for a while now, I have been the one coming up with the plans and securing our next home, our next campsite, our next place to live. And he starts looking kind of tired and sad. Folks, I'm tired.
What?
I'm tired. I've been for 20 years running this gang, running this family. I have been, to be perfectly honest, beginning to feel as though I am simply stringing you folks along. I don't know how much more I got in me. And he takes off his hat. I miss Jolene. I miss her smile. I wake up in the morning and I can still remember her singing in the morning to wake you all up gently.
Sam just kind of quietly sits down, takes off his hat, and just listens.
Doc, too, just puts his hat, takes his hat in his hands, puts it over his chest, and stands kind of stoically.
Kind of puts his hand over his chest, but he kneels down just kind of in a moment of remembering.
It's at this point that you guys notice that other members of the gang, even Spritz, are reading the room. And they're all either sitting down or they're taking a knee to listen to Dugan. And he continues. That day that we lost Jolene out there in the mud and streets and the steel and fire, and I know that you, Doc, I know that you tried. I know that you saw her go. And he looks up, and he looks like he doesn't want to say this next bit. Samson.
Sam clenches up.
Son, I hated you. I did. I hated you. For a while. I hated you because I thought that the moment that I put trust in somebody else, into putting plans together, was simply going to work itself out. And, son, I should have told you something the day that Jolene passed. Sometimes the best plans can't stop the worst from happening. You did your best, son, and I can't hold that against you anymore. I can't hold anything against any of you anymore, or ever again.
Sam is just trying his best not to cry.
And from what we're doing now to what we could be doing in the future, at this point, you're all skilled. You all could survive. You just need a new home. You just need a place to call home. And what if it ain't out here in the mud and the sticks, where we're always worried about bounty hunters or the law coming down to find us? And he turns and he looks right at you, Furfoot. I love you, kid, but this ain't no way to live. You're still young. You still got your whole life ahead of you.
Furfoot just takes their hat off and looks into it. There's nothing in it. They're just in their own head for a moment before they look back and let Dugan continue.
And another thing, when we're talking about holding this family together, whenever I wasn't doing that, I want to thank you, Bass. Listen, I may be just a couple of years older than you, but you're strong. You're stronger than, well, your grief. You're stronger than what that feller did to your boy. You're all stronger than you know. I don't know what's gonna come at the end of this job, but I need to be completely honest with you all. We have made more than enough money to go straight.
Sam perks up, kind of shocked at
Yeah.
hearing these words.
Yeah, me too.
Listen, with this last job, it can be the last job. And then none of us don't have to worry about waking up with our throats cut. None of us have to worry about who we're going to sleep next to. And at this point, he takes a big sigh and he says, This could be the future. And as, well, somebody that's looked out for all of y'all, I have been thinking a lot about your future. And it's time to secure it. I think we should do this job, but he's gonna walk closer to you guys. I ain't gonna plan it. I'm gonna follow this time. Because this time, and he's gonna turn over and put his hand on Samson's shoulder. This time, Sam's gonna lead us in this one.
Sam interjects.
Mm-hmm.
Says, "Sir, I don't know if I can. Not after last time."
And he's gonna turn to you and he says, Son, you can have the best plan in the world, but sometimes things just go sideways and you can't do nothing about it. And that moment, there weren't nothing you can do. Doc tried their best to save my Jolene, and they couldn't. None of us could. And that ain't your fault.
Sam just kind of looks down and he doesn't fully accept it. But I think logically he understands. And he wipes the tears that have been welling up in his eyes, wipes them out of his face, and takes the handkerchief around his neck and just wipes his face really quick. Puts his hat back on, and he says, "Well, then I'm going to plan the hells out of it."
I know you will, son. Dugan is going to chuckle and then say, Well, has anybody else got anything they got to get off their chest? Spritzwood's going to be all like, he's going to stand up and he says, I never cared for sour candy.
Yeah, me neither. I get you.
Sam kind of just chuckles and goes, "Oh no."
And what makes a callback? Does anyone have anything important to get off their chest?
You know what? Maribella also steps forward and she says, Now I would love to learn how to bake a cake.
I imagine the group goes, "Oh yeah, a cake would be really nice."
Be pretty great right now.
That's so pure. Oh my god.
Zeke.
I love these NPCs.
Zeke steps up and he says, I want to live for me and my brother. And
Furfoot just smiles.
Carla steps up and she says, I don't want to be afraid of being alone anymore. And then Annie stands up, thrusts her arms down at her side, and she says, I'm pregnant.
Sam goes, "Whoa."
Yeah, everybody goes, what?
I beg your pardon?
Slipped out a chuckle and said, "All right then, we got a future to plan."
It's a lot of information to process, but they finally get their thoughts all straightened out.
Wait a minute. If, and this is an if that I'm not sure I have a plan for yet, if this really is gonna be our last, big gig, what happens after is the thing I want to know. What about the bounties that are stuck on our heads? We still gotta worry about those.
Oh, speaking
Just because
of
we
which,
give a...
Sam reaches inside of his pocket and hands
Oh
the poster
no,
over to
don't
Dugan.
show that to the guests. Don't show
All
that
the
to
other
the
gang
guests.
members are now looking at that, and they're starting to laugh.
No.
Look, looks just like them.
Furfoot takes their hat off and buries their face in it.
Maribel
You can
says,
just hear frustrated cat noises.
Maribel says, well, ain't that just the cutest thing there, child? Look, they got your eyes.
Shut up. Just muffled into their hat.
And he says, oh, that's cute. I hope my little one looks as adorable. Spritz looks at it and he says, I don't get it.
Of course you don't, Spritz.
It looks
I love
the same.
Spritz so much. Corporate needs to find you the picture. I need to make that a thing now. Corporate needs you to find the difference between this picture and this picture. Spritz, they're the same damn picture.
Now with all of that going on, Dugan is roaring with laughter. And it has been a hot minute since you guys have heard him laugh.
I think
hard.
just the general feel of the camp has just gotten a lot brighter.
Yeah.
Because I know for a while things have been just dour in general.
Furfoot gets everyone's attention again. Anyways, my point still stands. What do we do about the bounties that are still stuck on our heads? We're not just gonna turn ourselves in, Lord knows that much. So what do we do about it?
Dugan says, I think I got a pretty good idea of how to turn a lot of this money into going away.
And what would you do for that?
Well, grease the right hands. I'm sure we'll figure a way out.
All right, I'll believe you.
Means, kid, you gotta make sure them sticky fingers real work on this train. You can secure your freedom.
All right.
Well, in that case, sounds like we're gonna rob ourselves a train.
Hell yeah.
All right.
All right. So I think for the sake of everybody's schedule, that might be a good time to call it for that.
Yeah.
I appreciate everyone here. We will talk off air and see about when's a good time to schedule the next episode of this. Because the next time, you guys are going to rob a train.
Let's go.
I get to rob a train. Let's go.
Do it.
So I want to thank everybody who's listening. Thanks for listening so much. I know that was extremely roleplay heavy.
There was no combat.
There was no combat, but it was a lot of checks.
Oh, yeah. A lot of dice rolling anyway.
Yeah. I really wanted to take an opportunity for everybody to get to know the gang and start to get a feel for all of the characters.
I love this gang. I hope you all like it too.
Next time, we're going to get into planning the heist, getting into it, and we'll see what happens. Really looking forward to seeing where the story goes after this. Oh boy, I sure do hope it's not heartbreak.
Oh, no.
Right?
Oh,
Everything
no.
will work out fine. We got a plan.
Lying through teeth. Just gritted teeth. Everything's gonna be totally fine.
We'll head to Tahiti after this. We got this, guys.
Tahiti.
All right. Thank you again, everybody listening.
We're going to take a little bit of a break and we'll be right back really soon. See you guys in a bit.